Hello students, thank you for watching my all presentation. Now we have come to an end of our quarterly portion. So today we'll learn lesson 4 pollination, which is the last chapter of our quarterly portion. In this presentation we will learn about parts of a flower, different types of flower, that is bisexual and monosexual flower. Next we'll learn the pollination, then process of pollination, and at the last we will learn types of pollination, that is self and cross pollination. So the first content part is parts of a flower. Before discussing the parts of a flower, we will know the importance of flower. Now we know that reproduction is an essential life process of any living organism for its survival. Means reproduction is producing of another one of their own kind. If reproduction is not there, life would come to an end. In most of the plants, this life process is carried out by flower. So flowers are reproductive organs of plant. Okay, so flower is responsible for producing seeds which grow into a new plants. Flower also feed insects, birds, animals and human beings also. So flower is the essential part of the reproduction in the plant. So here we will study parts of the flower. So number 1 is the calyx, okay, or it is called sepal, which support the flower. Now you see in the image, it is labeled calyx part, green in color, that is calyx or sepal. Another is corolla, the colorful part you see in the image, it is labeled corolla or petal we can say. The next is the androecium, the male part of the flower, and the gynoecium, the female part. Now human being also, the male and the female part is there. So in flower also the male and the female part is there, which is male is androecium and female is gynoecium. Now one by one we'll discuss in detail about different parts of the flower, that is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So number 1 is the calyx. The outermost whorl is known as calyx. Okay. Now flower has 4 distinct parts called whorl. In flower we'll say parts is called as whorl. So how many whorls are there? From the arrow mark you see 4 are there. So there are 4 whorl in flower. So the outermost is the calyx. It consists of green leaf-like structure known as sepal. Now what is the function of calyx? It protects the flower in bud stage. Bud in Hindi we call kali. Okay. So it protects the flower in the bud stage. This is a function of calyx. Next is the corolla, the colorful part. The second whorl is known as corolla. It is made of colorful structure known as petals. So we can say corolla also, we can say petals also. Petals are colorful and fragrant, means they have sweet smell, खुशबू रहता है उसमें, so that insect and other animals are attracted towards them. Now the third is known as androecium. Okay, it is made up of stamen. Androecium is a male part. Now it is made up of stamen. It has 2 parts, tube-like structure called, now stamen, the male part also have 2 parts. The long portion is called the filament and the capsule-like structure at the top are called anther. Okay, so anther produce powdery substance called pollen grains. The male gametes is known as pollen grains, which help in fertilization. Okay, the male part. So where these pollen grains are made? It is made in the anther. Okay, which help in reproduction, or the pollen grains are also called reproductive cell. So it is a male reproductive cell. Androecium is the male reproductive part of a plant. Next is gynoecium. The whorl at the center is known as gynoecium or carpel or pistil also we can say. Okay, now you see in the image, the down one, all the whorl are mentioned. Okay, the outer whorl is also there, calyx, green part. Okay, sepals, the colorful part, it is called petal. And you see the androsium male part, okay, it is called stamen. Now in the stamen you see two parts are there, anther is also labeled and filament is also labeled. So anther are attached to the filaments. It is a male reproductive part. Female, you see in the center it is there, carpel it is written, it is mentioned, okay, it is labeled gynoecium, means the female reproductive part, it is present in the center. This is the last whorl of a flower. It has swollen base known as ovary and tube-like structure and a tube-like structure called style. Okay, the top of the tube is somewhat flattened, is known as stigma. Okay, so we'll discuss in detail when we will discuss the gynoecium part. Now you see in the gynoecium also up one it is flattened. Okay, that is known as the stigma. Ovary has small beads like ovule. Okay, so inside the ovary, ovules are present which develop into seeds. Okay, so ovary will develop into fruit and ovule will develop into seed. The ovule contain the female reproductive cell. So inside the seed only female reproductive cell is present, means inside the ovule only female reproductive cell is present which will fertilize and give. So gynoecium is the female reproductive part of a plant. Androsium is a male reproductive part of the plant. It contains pollen grains, and gynoecium contains the female reproductive cell, means it contains the egg cell. Now complete and incomplete flower, means the flower can be complete and flower can be incomplete. Let's see the complete flower, what it is. A flower with all four whorls, means calyx, corolla, androsium and gynoecium. If all are present, that is complete flower. You see in the image, all parts are present. Okay. Next is incomplete. If any one or more whorl are missing, then flower is called incomplete. Means if any one whorl is absent or missing, the flower will be called incomplete. Now you see in the right side image, the anther filament, means the stamen part is missing. Okay, the stamen part is missing means the male reproductive part is missing. So that flower is incomplete because one of the whorl is missing, one of the part is missing. Which part? The male reproductive part, means androsium is missing. That's why the flower is incomplete. Now the third is the essential whorl. What are the essential whorl of flowers? Means what are the necessary whorl? So essential whorl of flowers are those that are directly involved in reproduction. Okay, these whorls are androsium and the gynoecium, the male reproductive part and the female reproductive part. They are the main part of the flower. That's why they are essential whorl. Non-essential whorl, the whorl are helping whorl that either protect the reproductive part of flower or help in reproduction indirectly. Like, okay, like you see the sepal, the calyx, they protect the female reproductive part. Okay, they protect the ovary inside it. So that is the helping one. Either they protect or they take part indirectly in reproduction. These whorls include sepals and petals, or you can say calyx or corolla. So they are non-essentials. Essential is androsium and gynoecium. Non-essentials are sepals and petals. Now you see in the figure, all the parts are labeled. Petal is there, androsium is there, gynoecium is there, sepal is there. Okay. Now you see non-essential, it is mentioned. Petal is there and sepals, means they are non-essential. They are helping in reproduction. Next is types of flowers. Monosexual and bisexual flowers. Let's see one by one. Bisexual flower which contain both stamen and pistil is called bisexual or complete flower. Okay, stamen or pistil. I have explained you, pistil means the female reproductive part and stamen is the male reproductive part. So a flower which contain both male and female part is called bisexual. Bi means two, okay, which contain both essential essential part of the flower. That flower is called bisexual flower. You see in the image both are present. Pistil is also there, means female reproductive part is also there, and stamen is also there, means the androecium part, the male part is also present. So this is called bisexual flower. Second is monosexual flower. Mono means one, okay. So a flower which contain any one part of the reproductive part, that is either male means androecium or female means gynoecium. So a flower which has only one of these whole, that is only stamen or only pistil, is called monosexual or incomplete flower. Example, you see papaya is there. Now you see in the image papaya is one of the example of monosexual flower. Means one papaya plant will contain male flower, means male part of the plant, and another papaya plant will contain the female part of the flower. Okay, in two different plants they will contain the flowers. So that's why they are called monosexual flower. Cucumber is also there. Now in that also two is there, staminate or male flower. Okay, the plant which contain stamen, the flower which contain the plant bearing flower which contain only stamen, that flower will be called staminate or male flower. And pistillate, from the name only it is a pistil. Pistil is present, means that is pistillate flower or the female flower. The third is the neuter flower. A flower in which both androecium, the male part, and the gynoecium, female part, are missing. Means both the reproductive part are missing, means absent. That type of flower is called neuter flower. Example, florets of sunflower. Now you see the sunflower you have seen. Now you see in these two florets are there, ray floret and disc floret. Actually the ray floret does not, now you see the right side ray floret is there. It does not contain any reproductive part there. Corolla is there, sepal is there, okay. So it does not contain any essential whole. Essential part means neither the male part nor the female part. That type of flower is known as neuter flower, okay. Means sunflower is containing of both the disc floret and the ray floret, okay. The ray floret, that is the florets are missing both the male and female reproductive part. Now flowers are classified on the basis of their lifespan, okay. Let's see. Number one is annuals. Annuals, only from the name it is signifying, means one. Annual grow for only one season. They grow, bloom and die in 1 year. Example, marigold. Now you marigold plant you see, गेंदा का फूल जिसको बोलते हैं. In 1 year only they grow, they bloom, flower खिलता है, फिर वो मर जाता है. Okay, the flower, and that flower will never bloom. फिर से वो नहीं खिलेगा. So that type of flower is known as annual. Okay. Example, marigold, you see in the image marigold is blooming. Second is biennial. From the biennial, bi means two. Okay. So biennials grow from seeds in first year, means first year they will grow from the seeds, the plant will grow, and the second year the flower will bloom. Okay, full second year में खिलेगा. Okay, so example is parsley, sweet William dwarf. Now example you see in the image, flower is given. So first year they will grow from the seed, the plant will grow, and second year the flower will come. Second year the flower will come and they will bloom. That is biennial. The third is a perennial. Perennials are flowers that grow for several seasons, okay, but bloom for a limited time every year. Means every year they will bloom at a limited time. Example, bougainvillea is there, daylily and petunia. Now you see in the example, down one image it is given, bougainvillea means they will bloom limited time for every year, okay. So that is known as perennial. Next is the pollination, okay. So pollination definition is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma by agents like wind, insects and water is known as pollination, okay. Now you have studied about pollen grains, okay. Now you see in the image they are describing what pollination. The flower is having both one number which is mentioned, okay, that is the pollen is present, means pollen grain is present. So this pollen grains, number one you see it is highlighted also, small circle, pollen grain is there, okay, the male reproductive part. Now this pollen grain is transferred to another flower. You see another flower, third number is highlighted, that is the female reproductive part. It contains the swollen part is the ovary, and the inside the ovary you see green small seed like structure, that is the ovule. So okay, so this pollen grain has to go and fuse with the ovule there, egg cell present, okay. So who will take this? The honey bee, means the bee, second number bee is mentioned, the honey bee will transfer this pollen, okay, from the anther to the stigma. So this process is called, the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is called pollination, okay. This is held by the agent, okay. Anyone will take this pollen grain to another flower or the same flower. Who will take? The wind will take, with the help of wind, or the insect. You see here honeybee is carrying away the pollen. It can get stick in the legs, in the wings, in the body parts, okay. When the honeybee will visit in another flower, it will, few pollen grain will fall down in the stigma and fertilization will take place, okay. So this process is called pollination. So why pollination is important? Because it leads to the production of the fruit which we eat and the seed that will grow into a new plant, okay. So if fertilization will take place, so if fertilization will stop, there will be no seed and fruit production, okay, and no new plants will grow. So for that pollination is important, okay. Whatever the vegetables, the fruits we eat, that is the result of pollination only. When pollination will be there, then only fertilization will take place, and fertilization will be take place, then only fruit will be formed. Inside the fruit, seed will be formed. We will eat the fruit part, we will throw away the seed part, and that seed will grow into a new plant, okay. So pollination is very essential. Types of pollination is there, two types, self pollination and cross pollination. In the image you see self pollination means it is happening in one flower only. Pollen grains from the anther is passing to the stigma. You see one arrow is showing the left side, self pollination, that is self means आपस में ही pollination होता है, उसको self बोलते हैं. Cross means from one flower to another flower, okay, that is known as the cross pollination. You see in the image, from this flower the pollen grain is going to the another flower, that is cross pollination. Now self pollination, when pollen grains of flower transfer to stigma of same flower or a different flower of a same plant. Suppose one wheat plant is there, okay, and one plant, you know, so many flowers there, in one plant so many flowers are growing, 2 3 4 5 6. So when the pollens will transfer from to the stigma, from the anther to the stigma of the same flower. Now you see in the image, from the anther is arrow mark is showing in the same flower only, means stigma of the same flower, that is self pollination. And if plant, in one plant only, when pollen grains is transferred to the another stigma of the another plant from the anther, that is also called self pollination. एक ही plant में, एक ही फूल में जब pollination होता है उसको self pollination बोलते हैं, या एक ही plant के दूसरे फूल में pollination होगा उसको भी self pollination कहते हैं. Now cross pollination. When pollen grains from the anther of a flower are transferred to stigma of another flower on the different plant of the same kind. Now you see in the between arrow mark is showing cross they are making. From the arrow mark only you can understand cross pollination is there. Now you see flower 1 butterfly is taking away the pollen grains and going to another flower, flower 2. So means when the pollen grain is transferred from one plant of a flower to another plant of a flower of the same kind means if rose plant is there, it will go to the rose plant only, the pollen grains will go to the rose plant only and it will fertilize. It is not that the pollen grain of the rose flower will go to the wheat flower and it will pollinate and give the wheat will give the rose. It doesn't the same kind. Rose will give to the rose part, wheat will give to the wheat part. That is the meaning of same kind. Okay. So transfer of another flower on different plant of the same kind. You see in the image also it is showing cross pollination. Plants needs the help of carrying agent to carry out cross pollination. Okay. Now you see in the first one butterfly is taking away the pollen grains. In the right side you see the honey bee is taking the honey bee is sitting there taking the pollen grain and going to the another flower. These are the agent which help in cross pollination. So let's see what are the agent. Wind is one of the agent, insect is there, birds are there, bats are there, and water are the agent which help in pollination. They are also called pollinators. Now you see the downside one image is this describing about the pollination. Okay. Now the right side and left side, two flowers are there. See anther, pollen grains are growing and going to stigma. Okay. Now the stigma tube like structure, it is going inside the ovary to the ovule and it will fertilize and it will form the fruit. Inside the fruit seed will be there. So example of cross pollination are apples. In apples we'll see cross pollination, pumpkins, grasses, daffodils. These are the examples of cross pollination, means in this plant cross pollination take place. Now one by one we'll discuss the pollinators. Pollination by wind. Okay, from the image only you can see blown away by wind. So plants such as wheat, maize, barley and grass are pollinated by wind, means pollination take place with the help of wind from these types of plants. Now pollen grains, what are the criteria of means features of pollen grain, character sketch of pollen grains. Pollen grains are light, they are light in weight so that they can be easily blown away by wind. हवा के झोंके से आसानी से उड़ जाएगा इसलिए वो हल्का होता है. Smooth, okay, and non-sticky. Non-sticky means चिपचिपा नहीं होता है. Okay, otherwise if they are stick to another part of the plant they can't be easily blown away by wind. अगर वो किसी दूसरे चिपचिपा होगा, चिपक जाएगा तो वो हवा के झोंके से वो नहीं उड़ पाएगा. That's why the pollen grains are non-sticky so that they can easily transported by wind. In the image you see easily transported by wind current. The pollen grains are produced in large numbers. Now you see the down one pictures, pollen grains, small dust like structure. That is not dust, that are the pollen grains. They are large in numbers, okay, and since much of it get wasted while being carried by the wind, okay, so that's why they are produced in large number, so that out of that large number any 1-2 pollen grains can go to the stigma and fertilization can take place. The stigma are feathery, okay, the female up part was the swollen part, they are feathery in structure. Why they are feathery? So that the pollen grain can stick in that and hang out of the flower. Flower के ऊपर वो hang करते रहता है ताकि जब हवा का झोंका आएगा तो pollen grains उसमें फंस जाए. To trap pollen from air. Now you see in the wheat plant is there. They are showing The stamen are long and hang out of the flower so that they are exposed to the wind. Okay, the stamen is also long. Why they are long? अगर वो प्लांट के नीचे रहेगा तो हवा का झोंका से वो नहीं बह पाएगा. That's why the stamen is also long and hang out of the flower. Flower के वो बाहर रहता है ताकि so that the wind current can take away the pollen grains easily. The anther are loose and long and loosely attached to the filament. The anther is also loosely attached to the filament so that pollen can be easily blown away by wind. The flowers are usually small. Okay, so the wheat, maize, barley flowers are usually small, dull color. They are not bright color. Okay, and without scent. No scent is there. Or nectar. Nectar is the juicy part which is present in flower that the insect come and take. Since it does not need, why they does not contain scent or nectar, because they are pollinated by wind. They does not need the insect to attract or birds to attract for pollination. Next is pollination by insects. Now pollen grains are sticky or spiky. Okay, चिपचिपा होता है, spikes कांटा लगा हुआ होता है, so that they can stick easily to insect body. The flowers are large and bright color to attract insect. Okay, now flower you see they are colorful, bright, so that and scented also, so that insect can be attracted towards the flower. The flowers are scented and produce sweet smelling liquid called nectar. So the anther are, see the butterfly sitting for the collection of the nectar. The anther are stiff and firmly attached so that they can brush against the insect, so that they can stick against the insect body. Now you see the stigmas are small, compact and do not hang out the flower. It is very small. You see honeybee is sitting, okay, on the stigma. It is very small. They are sticky so that pollen grain, now stigma is also sticky so that pollen grains can stick. When the insect will come and sit over the stigma, the pollen grains present in their body parts or wings or legs will get stick to the stigma and fertilization will take place. When insect visit flowers to suck the nectar, pollen grains fall on their bodies and stick to them. This pollen is transferred to the next flower they visit. Then again, when the insect will visit another flower, the pollen grains will get detached from their body and it will go to the stigma and fertilization will take place. So this were the pollination by insect. Pollination by birds and bats. Okay. They also help in pollination. Let's see how they help. Hummingbirds are important pollinators of wildflowers. They have very good eyesight and are extremely attracted to warm colors. Now which are the warm colors? Like red, orange, yellow or blue. Now you see hummingbird is sucking the nectar. Okay. Now you see flower are tubular. Now you see the flower structure tube like. Okay. Brightly colored, odorless. Okay. Smell is not present in that. That's why odorless is there, scent is not there. Have strong support for perching and open during the day, means the flower bloom during the day. The bird thrusts their long cylinder beak. Now you see the hummingbird is sucking the nectar with the long cylinder beak deep into the flower for nectar, with withdrawing faces dusted in pollen. When they transfer they visit another flower, means the beak what they suck the nectar, the hummingbird beak contain the pollen grains, and when that hummingbird will go to another flower and suck the nectar, few pollen grain will get detached from the beak and fertilization will take place. Next is a bat. So the flowers pollinated by bats are large, dull, white or cream colored that can be clearly seen in the moonlight. Now you see the bat usually we see at the night. Okay. So the flowers are dull white. So on the moonlight that white color can be easily seen away by the bat. Now you see the bat is visiting the flower and its bat is not collecting nectar, it is going, and now the insect, when it is sitting for the collection of nectar, that bat is going to eat that insect present in the flower. So while they'll go to the insect to catch insect present in the flower, few pollen grains will attach to the bat's body also. Okay, and when the bat will go to another flower, few pollen grains will fall off and fertilization will take place. Now they have strong fruity odor and bloom at night. When bats come out in search of night flower insect, the flowers have many exposed stamen. Pollens and nectar are produced in large quantities. Now pollination by water. Water pollinated flowers grow on underwater aquatic plants. They are growing underwater. Their flowers are small, unisexual. Unisexual means one is present, means one flower will contain male flower and another flower will contain female flower. Okay, they are unisexual. Any one part will be present. Either the plant will contain male flower or the female flower. That is unisexual and dull and can hardly be seen. Pollen grains are heavy as these are carried by water and produced in large number. The stigma are large and feathery to catch the pollen grains. In Vallisneria, means one of the aquatic plant, the male flower break off from the stem and rise to the surface. Now you see two plants is there, two Vallisneria. One is bearing male flower and another is bearing female flower. That is unisexual, means two different plants are there. Now you see the male will get detached from the body, means break off from the stem and will float on the water. Now you see it is stamen. Stamen is there. Stamen will contain, okay, the pollen grains will be there. This stamen will float and come near the female part. Now you see female flower is above the water, okay, and the female flower will float on the surface, so that, and the male will get cluster around it. Cluster means जहाँ पे female flower है वहाँ पे इकट्ठा हो जाएगा male flower, okay, and the sticky pollens help in pollination, and the pollens present in the stamen, means anther, they are sticky, they will get attached to the female flower part and they will go inside the ovule. After inside the ovary, fertilization will take place. Okay, so this is the pollination by water. Here some facts are there. Sunflower look like one large flower. Now we have studied about sunflower, okay, neuter. The florets are neuter. Now sunflower contain two parts, disc floret and ray floret, okay. So sunflower look like one large flower. Actually one sunflower is not a one complete flower, but each head is composed of 100 of tiny flowers called florets, okay. Now you see in the middle, the highlighted parts, hundreds of florets are there, the disc floret hundreds. These florets will ripen to become the seed. Inside this, the ovary is present which will ripe, ovule is present which will ripe into seed. So sunflower is not only one flower, hundreds of flowers are present, means hundreds of flower parts together forms one sunflower, okay. So this is a fact. Giant Amazon water lily is a nocturnal flower, means they bloom at night. Nocturnal flower generally have strong fragrance and are white in color. You see, so big giant lily flower is there, okay. Flower of cactus varieties have very short lifespan, that of only a few hours, means the flower will survive for only for few hours. See, the cactus flower is blooming. After a few hours, the flower will die. Now here is one quote for you. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. Weeds are the unwanted plants. If your mind are having thoughts of the seeds, it will grow to a flower, okay. Otherwise, it will grow to a unwanted plant, that weeds. So we should have positive thinking in our mind. Thank you for watching my presentation.